when we moved over to Nick on Sunset from Paramount Studios. Brian Peck came in during the second season. Brian was a dialogue coach on The Amanda Show, and met him the first day of the second season when we did a table read. He got along with everyone. Everyone got along with him. He'd been working in the industry for a very, very long time. He knew tons about the history of Hollywood, and that's what I loved. We would just rap about stuff like that. It's like reading a book about the history of Hollywood.
I was told that Brian was a good coach and that he could really get Drake some jobs. He worked with Leonardo DiCaprio. He worked with this person, that person. I said, oh, okay. Well, he said, oh, well, you need to come to my house because that's where I give the lessons. So we started using him as an acting coach. Everything seemed okay in the beginning, but I was always within eye distance of them.
It was just really fun to go to Brian's house. He would have parties, parents, they were there. He had this really cool house with all of this Hollywood memorabilia, and it was just a house you wanted to live in. He just seemed like any other nice coworker, you know, at that point. Brian and I became really close because we had a lot of the same interests, which, looking back, I think that was probably a little calculated.
You hear scuttlebutt about the business and what you got to watch your kids and this and that, so I was very attentive. All the other parents would be seen and not heard, which I would never interrupt anything, but very rarely sit in the green room. I'd always be offset somewhere where I could always keep my eyes on Drake. And unfortunately, I started seeing Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. And it didn't set well with me. Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian. And just touch Drake. You know, do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people. Then he'd maybe walk over to Drake and be feeding him some lines or whatever and put his arm around his waist, put his hand up on his shoulder and kind of run it down his arm and things like that. And this would happen routinely. Was just always uncomfortable.
Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah, his muscles.
I saw this video of Brian Peck on Growing Pains with Leonardo DiCaprio, grabbing his shoulder, running across him and going down his arm. That's the kind of behavior I saw him with my son. Same frickin' behavior. So I went to production and said, you know, I really am very uncomfortable with this guy, Brian Peck, always being around my son. I go, I don't see anything abnormal, but it just doesn't, I don't have a good feeling. And she goes, oh, well, I don't know if you knew it or not, but he's gay. Maybe you're just homophobic and you just, you know, you just don't understand that he's a touchy-feely guy. So I said, okay. And then it just kept not setting well with me. So I told people on the set. And I was ostracized. And so I backed off.
Brian was still my friend. Everything was fine. I didn't think anything of anything that was happening. In hindsight, I should have been able to see, but as a kid, you have no clue. But my dad saw it a mile away.